Hey everybody, here we are food plotting today. Step one, we are doing some mowing and some spraying. Unfortunately, of all days, we finally ran into some rain. So we're kind of spraying this year with the grass being a little wet. Thankfully the rain's done, so I think it's still gonna be okay. We'll have to check in here in 2 weeks and see what kind of a kill we actually got. So I got the four-wheeler all loaded down. We got 10 gallons in this sprayer. I'm mixing my glyphosate at about 8 fluid ounces per gallon, with about 6 to 8 fluid ounces of blue dye to go along with it so we can see what we're spraying. Got a little boom sprayer we got set up with a little shutoff valve and a little switch right up here that you can just turn on and off, connect it with the battery, and it's a pretty snazzy setup. But I gotta do a little weeding along the 4-wire cow fence, if you can see it. I want to get the green out of there so we can disc this up and be able to get a good fresh crop planted in here in about 2 to 3 weeks, depending on rain. Well, here we go. We are heading to put a food plot in today. We sprayed and cut, as you saw, not quite 2 weeks ago. Tomorrow is actually 2 weeks. And today is get the seed in the ground day. I was actually planning on doing this tomorrow. However, this time of year, I'm watching the weather like a crazy amount. I probably look at the weather probably 3 or 4 times at least a day because it changes so often. And they moved rain into the forecast this evening. So we're gonna hurry up and get this plot planted. So I'm gonna take you guys through the steps of how we put these food plots in, and I'll give you kind of updates along the season and how it's growing. So, because we're gonna be rushed for time like we always are, I know it. I'm gonna kind of break down a little bit of it right now. We're gonna get the tractor all set up and weighted for the disc, and we're gonna get that dirt turned and ready to go. Once we're done disking, we're gonna go over the whole plot with the Cultipacker, and we're gonna smooth the seed bed, get it all prepped and ready for seed. Want to really get it firm and not so mushy, because if it's real soft and you're sinking, your seed can very easily settle too deep when it rains, and then you won't get a very good germination if your seed goes too deep. So we're gonna Cultipack the seed bed after we're done disking, and then we're gonna go in with our spreaders and broadcast seed and fertilizer. And then when we're done with that, we're gonna take our little chain link fence drag the whole plot really good, kind of cover the seed, keep from birds and turkeys picking it apart if it takes a little while to come up. And then after that, we're gonna pack again, and we're gonna load up and roll out. And then we're gonna pray for rain, because rain is the #1 ingredient for a successful food plot. As long as you have consistent rains, you can have a lot of success, in my opinion. This is our first swipe. We'll usually do this twice. We'll go over it once completely, and then we'll hit it again to really get a good fine looking dirt. Get a good shot here of the tractor cutting through. Looks really good. We just run about 150 pounds on front and about 200 pounds of weight on the back, plus the disc. It does a pretty good job turning it up. Okay, so I got all my fertilizer prepped up now. This plot was soil tested this spring, and it called for 104 pounds of 1313 and 24 pounds of 0060. So I'm just gonna add the 0060 in with this, and we're gonna go ahead and spread it all when we're done with the seed. So I'm getting everything prepped up for whenever we're done disking, so we can just keep things moving along, try to keep things moving fluently. So here is where the magic happens. Like I said, we're gonna be planting this year in this plot the Imperial Whitetail Wintergreens. One bag here does 7,200 square foot. My plot is about 12,000 square foot. So I'm gonna go with about 14,000 square foot of seed. And you know, broadcasting, it kind of compensates for seed that might get buried too deep, seed that may not germinate, and birds and turkeys and any drought. So a little heavy on the seed side. And I'm also, just for that early attraction, I'm gonna put in just a little bit of radish, not a lot, because originally I wasn't going to do any, but I just would like to get a little bit of radish in here. I grew some awesome radishes last year. This seed is already coated with a coating that helps the seed absorb moisture and really get growing quickly once it gets its first rain. But this right here is a seed coat that is really awesome, really reliable. If we were to hit drought, I know rain's coming, but if this rain would miss us, it happens all the time. This seed coat will protect the seed that much longer, give it that much of a better chance to survive. So I'm going to be mixing a little bit of seed coat on all the seed. I'll mix it in this bucket, and I'm using my little baby hand spreader to broadcast it out. When I go to broadcast, I do a crisscross pattern, and then same with fertilizing. And I just go back and forth until I run out of seed. And it's very important to have your gap very small, and it's better to go over the whole plot 3 or 4 times and get it slow and even coverage versus trying to rush through it real fast and be like, oh, I don't have enough, and then you're sprinting by the end of it. I've been there. It's not fun. So just go slow and take your time. It's worth going slow. The field is disked, looks really nice. Now we are cultipacking it. I'm gonna go over it once with a cultipacker, get a good firm bed. As you can see, there's my step. There's my footprint on the already packed versus the footprint on the loose. So it makes a good firm seed bed. So once we get this all cultipacked, we'll start spreading seed and fertilizer. So here's our drag harrow in all its glory. It's just literally 2 pieces of chain link fence we wired together, a piece of rebar we put in front so that it's stout and sturdy and got something good to pull on. And I just took some old bull tape and tied about I doubled it up actually, but it's probably 3.5 feet from where the drag is, and we just put it on the shackle behind the four-wheeler, and it's how we drag our seed over. So you didn't have to see me sweating and huffing and puffing. I saved you that clip. But all of the seed and fertilizer is broadcasted, and now we're working on the light drag with the chain link fence. You get down here real close, you can see a difference from the spot where the drag has gone over versus where all of our steps are and the cultipacker. And again, we are gonna have to we're gonna hit this one more time with the cultipacker to get a good seed to soil contact, but we hit it with the drag right after we plant. Okay, and the final step is, like I said, the cultipack, the final time. And here is the final look of the plot when it's all done versus what the chain link fence does to it. Sure makes for a pretty field. So yeah, we're gonna give this a little bit of time. Running out of daylight, we're gonna get out of here. Hope the rain comes tonight, tomorrow, and the next day as it's predicted. We'll see what happens. Hopefully in a few short weeks, this will be a nice green food plot for this fall. So as you can see, here's the final result of the beautiful looking dirt in a beautiful field. Hope you've enjoyed this, and we'll have some updates coming in the near future. Till next time, see you later.